Hey guys, Rick with Rick's Toy Room, and it almost looks like I didn't change clothes for this video because I didn't. Okay, so uh, I've always been kind of a retro vintage gaming guy. Obviously, I've got a bunch of my arcades here. I've, you know, done mods for the original Xbox and got it to play Insignia so you could play Halo and Halo 2 online. I have the SNES Classic, the Sega Genesis Mini, the PlayStation 1 Mini, all those I hacked, put all the games on. Well, as of recently, I've got back into collecting vintage. Just been on a vintage kick. So, Time Lord for the NES, Disney's Adventures of the Magic Kingdom. Fun game, by the way. Casino Kid. My dad loved this game. My mom and dad used to play it all the time. I played it as a kid. I finally beat it on the emulator. Yeah. Bad Dudes, because bad dudes. And then, obviously, the Turtles. So that's what I picked up recently for the NES games. There's been a explosion of vintage game stores in the area. So we've been kind of hunting them down, seeing what they've got for hardware and for games. All of these are super cheap. These will go in with my Top Gun, and I got a Dr. Mario. I got a bunch of other vintage ones, so I'm going to 3D print a cool case housing and put these up and start getting those on display. Then I decided, you know what? They were cheap enough. Sewer Shark for the Sega CD, which is one of these games that if you didn't understand how to play it, was super stupid. But once you understand how to play it, it was really fun. And then Rise of the Dragon. Now, this one did not have the cover for it, so I got it really, really cheap. But I remember playing this as a kid, and this was one of the games I had on Sega CD and actually beat. This was amazing. So, again, got it really cheap, and I'm hoping to have it hooked up into a real Sega CD soon to play it, test them out, make sure they're all working. I've got a game adapter that I can do Nintendo games on, so those are easy to test. But that isn't the only vintage thing going on right now. So between a bunch of stuff that I sold on eBay, the CGC, like I've had a little bit of extra money. I didn't have to spend any cash on getting the Jeep fixed, so I had a little extra cash. And I've always wanted to play Demolition Man on the 3DO. So the 3DO version of Demolition Man was live action video mixed with side scroller, and it was a completely different version than was released on the Sega Genesis and the SNES. So for the longest time, I've been wanting to play this game, and I got an opportunity to buy an American 3DO. So I got a 3DO for 199 bucks plus shipping. Comes with the working 3DO US version, the power supply, the AV cables, and a controller, and one game. So considering that most 3DO FZ1s either have broken DVD-ROM, CD-ROM readers, or caps blew, things got screwed up and people haven't fixed it, don't know how to fix it. Um, this was a great deal, and for working versions with games, etc. I mean, they're going for like 500 plus. So I bought that. Now, with buying that comes some basic maintenance for vintage systems. Replacing all the capacitors on the 3DO is a no-brainer. The SRAM battery needs to be replaced, and then normally the rubber band for the DVD drive goes out. Luckily, there's a company that sells a complete rework kit for 15 bucks plus shipping. It's the CD drive rubber band to help with the motor. It's the full capacitor kit, so replace all capacitors on the motherboard, and the SVRAM battery. So we're going to replace those when the system gets here after we test it, make sure it's all working. And then I bought the mod chip for the system, which basically allows the system to think that a Raspberry Pi is the CD-ROM drive. And there is a special tool out there that'll let you put all the games on a USB thumb drive, plug it into this adapter, and basically play all the games you want. So, obviously, there are a few games that I want to buy for this system to have in complete case, and they are going to be extremely expensive. Demolition Man being one of them. Street Fighter 2 will be another. I'll probably get the Gecko, and then there's probably one or two other games I'm going to actually want to buy to put up on my display. But then I'm going to run the mod chip and try all the other games on it just because. So once that system gets here, that will be here this week, and the mod chip should be here in a couple of weeks because it's got to come in from overseas. Once those get here, we'll do a whole new video of not only testing the 3DO, showing it all hooked up, but also doing the actual modification, doing the upgrade repairs, and bringing the system up to basically a whole new system. Now, there are some other mods that can be done. You can actually swap the power supplies. So if you bought a Japanese version and you don't want to do the converter, you can actually switch the transformers inside it to accept the 120, not blow your system up. There is an HDMI update that can be done well beyond my soldering skills. So I'm not going to do the HDMI upgrade. I don't need to. I've got a TV here that I can hook it up to and play. So we're going to do that. Yeah. So that's it. My vintage gaming collection is starting to grow. I'm going to get a Sega CD combo so I can play these. I already have a vintage Nintendo adapter to play these. I also have all these games actually already downloaded and installed on my NES Minis. So this is more just for a physical ownership. I want the cartridges, test them, play them, and keep them around versus actually worrying about hooking up a vintage Nintendo system, though I'm still considering that as well. But that's for a later date. We are not selling the house immediately. The market is pretty much collapsed right now. And with all the money I owe between the new roof, the new AC, and all the bullshit that I wasted on the attorney, I can't sell immediately, but it's still in the market, or it will be in the market one day. All right, guys, that's it for now. Stay tuned because, like I said, we are going to do the 3DO upgrade. I also have some new trading card collections I've restarted, and we're going to do some pack openings this week when those come in and talk about the those cards and some of the collectability of those variants, etc. So coming back with collecting material, not just box breaks of Hot Wheels anymore. So again, we're getting back into Nintendo game collecting. We're going to get into some vintage Sega CD collecting, 3DO collecting, 3DO mods, and then some vintage trading cards. All right, so plenty more videos to come. As always, like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see you guys next time.